Hi, I'm Simon Hoy and I'm the Engineering Manager here at Vision. I'm responsible for the OT and C&I technical deployments. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we helped a large UK utility upgrade their legacy Layer 2 networks, improve their cyber posture, get real-time passive monitoring of their live OT networks, all to bring them in line with the NIST directive. We did this through the supply and installation of an IDS solution. First, I'm going to tell you a bit about our history. Now, Vision started off in 1996, originally as RFL Communications. We started off selling teleprotection devices, which are safety systems into National Grid and other distribution network operators. From there, we used a natural progression into building fibre networks and then even into wide area networks for large distribution network operators. In fact, we've built two of the largest networks for distribution network operators across the UK. It's also allowed us to sell other products and services into that C&I and OT specialist environment. We've specialised in renewables, specifically in the offshore wind environment. In fact, if you look at the top 20 wind farms in the UK, we've worked on pretty much all of them. We've sold access control, CCTV, intrusion detection system, and the critical SCADA networks that are involved in all of those wind farms. Of course, I haven't mentioned the IT side of the business yet. Vision have an incredible IT side, selling products and services into very high profile clients. And this synergy with leading IT and OT, both sides of the business coming together, can provide you with an incredible cyber offering with best practices from both sides of the business. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the challenges that the customer faced. The first one was that they didn't believe there was a single supplier who could offer both the IDS solution with hardware and software and the physical aspects of the installation. Now, the physical aspects included installation of physical cabling, installation of the panel, and electrical works. So they put them out to two separate tenders to solve this. Now, we as Vision managed to give the customer confidence that we could deliver both parts of this, and it certainly made the delivery a lot easier. That's the first challenge solved. Now, as part of one of those tenders, there was an upgrade of the existing switched network. Now, this was to allow for the mirrored traffic to be passed to the central IDS server. Now, this is to be completed in a tight outage. Now, these are critical sites, so there was no way that you could just turn the site off without any impact. It all needed to be done under proper change management. The site would get switched into manual operation, the switches would get swapped out one by one, the entire system would be tested after every switch. Another challenge was the environment that this equipment was being installed into. With possibility of explosive atmospheres, it meant that it took a certain skill set and certain qualifications and training, as well as additional equipment, to make sure that our engineers were safe. Now, they are some of the top challenges, not to say that there wasn't lots of little ones along the way as well, but all of which were overcome and the customer is happy. The second challenge was the lack of information on the existing networks. Now, obviously, with this type of project, there's a lot of design done up front. Now, with the added complication of COVID, it meant that we couldn't actually go to these sites. It meant that all the surveys were completed by their employees using photos, videos, and live links where possible. It meant that we had to digest a huge amount of information to update their drawings, to put in the new Layer 2 switches, so that we could get the IDS system working properly. Now, in this OT, C&I type environment, there's often a hesitance to change. The system works as it is, so why change it? Now, this was an attitude issue that we needed to solve. Now, we need to make sure that all of the stakeholders had bought into us. They needed to make sure that they believed in us, that we could deliver, and we understood the impact of anything going wrong. Next, I'm going to talk about the solution itself. So, I mentioned we are upgrading the switches. So we upgraded to Cisco IE 2000s. These were from the IE, the Industrial Ethernet range of Cisco's, so they're ready for this harsh environment. Next, we installed our network panel. Now, our network panel was pre-built in our facility in Chippenham, pre-tested and ready to go. We installed additional passive infrastructure to pass this IDS traffic back to the central IDS server, which was pre-built in the IDS panel. We installed a 4G router with external antenna, and that worked into a private APN to get the data back into their CSOC for analysis. Now, the way the solution works is all of these switches are configured to mirror all of the traffic back to a central aggregation switch in that IDS panel, We then pass that into the IDS server, and then we create a baseline of the known good traffic. Now, once we've learnt that baseline, we do the analysis, we make sure that all of that traffic is expected, and any rules that are created out of that, then highlight any alerts to anything that isn't in the norm. Of course, I've made that sound really, really simple. It's a lot more complicated than that. However, that is a nice succinct version of what we've done. Now, there's another complication as part of the solution. One of the stakeholders identified there needed to be a unidirectional passive element to the network to prevent the IDS server, even if that was compromised, from not being able to interfere with the OT traffic. Now, what they were asking for was not commercially available in the way that they wanted it. So we designed it, we prototyped it, we tested it, we had the approval, and it had to be done in a 2-week window because that was just before the first installation. So lastly, I'm going to talk about the outcome of the project. Now, we're still delivering this. We've still got quite a few more sites to go. However, so far we've helped the customer with a big step towards their NIST compliance. They've got upgraded switch networks across their sites. They've got greater knowledge, visibility and documentation. They've had zero impact on the existing traffic. And they've created a baseline across their sites, meaning that any anomalies within their network will get flagged into their CSOC straight away. And the customer couldn't be happier, as if expressed in this quote. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to identify the vulnerabilities in your OT network, then Vision are offering a free OT cyber risk analysis. Now, if you fill in the form today, one of our experts will get in touch.